Welcome inside the Amsler Campus Center Gymnasium for another weekly recap show. I'm Dan Wohler here with Assistant Athletic Director Jeff Polari. And Jeff, the men's and women's basketball programs for the regular season have come to a close.
It's amazing. You get a few warm days and it starts to feel like spring. And while we look ahead to spring sports, it signals the end of the winter regular season. And both of those programs finished up with the regular season play last week.
And for the women's basketball team, they went 1-1 on the week with a win against Southern Vermont College and then a loss in the MASCAC.
Yeah, they went 1-1 the final week. Southern Vermont was an easy victory. They cruised in that one and then ultimately dropped the second game of the week to Bridgewater State in double overtime in a game that was really a tale of two halves. Is probably the understatement of the year. They made one field goal in the first half and fell behind. I think it was 23-9 at halftime and ultimately came back to tie it. Had the lead in overtime and both overtimes actually, and just couldn't hold on and giving Bridgewater the win.
And in the game against Southern Vermont College, Kayla Hodeling grabbed her 1,000th point. She went into that game just needing 3 points to hit it.
Yeah, we knew Kayla coming into the year had a great chance to join the exclusive club. She came into this game needing 3 points. You can see her taking the ball at the left elbow and converting the end one here for the milestone basket. She becomes the 7th player in women's basketball history to reach that milestone. Certainly a great benchmark for her. Great to get it out of the way before the end of the season in the playoffs, but kudos to her for being one of the top 7 scorers in Trailblazer history.
Right, congrats to Kayla. And speaking of the MASCAC playoffs, Trailblazers faced off against Worcester State.
It was a rematch of the season, and Worcester State took both meetings with the Trailblazers earlier this season. They won a pair of close games, pair of low-scoring games, both defensive-minded. They won back on January 4th in the Amsler Campus Center by, I think, 9 points, and then they won about a month later on their home floor by 4. So it was a great matchup heading into last night. Ultimately, the Trailblazers came away with a hard-fought 64-54 win, avenging those 2 earlier season defeats and moving on to the semifinals.
So let's get into some player performances. Senior Courtney McLaughlin had a game-high 22 points.
Courtney was outstanding last night. She really took ownership early. She went for 6 points in the first quarter. She ended up the game with 22 in the contest, driving to the basket here. She had a ton of those last night, just finishing at the basket. Really set the tone early and created some matchup problems for Worcester State. So it was really nice to see her get in the flow. She also made her mark with a few assists. You can see a great look here to Emily Moulton underneath the basket with a good finish. So great to see Courtney really step her game up in postseason play, and one of her best performances of the year.
Sure, and no surprise, senior Kayla Hodeling with 20 points, 11 boards, so another double-double there.
Hodeling's the go-to player on the Trailblazers roster. She has been all season. She continues to be that. Going into a tough matchup for her with Worcester State. Worcester State's got some very good size, putting 3 6-footers on the floor, and always great to see Kayla put on another really good performance on the offensive end and on the defensive side of things.
And then another senior, Braylee Hanlon, came in clutch in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, Braylee's kind of taken on a little bit of an expanded role due to an injury to Karina Matera. She's been inserted into the starting lineup, and she's really taken advantage. You can see her here driving in, making a big bucket here late in the 4th quarter, to really help MCLA kind of hold Worcester State at bay. Hopefully she can continue. They're going to need that 3rd scorer to step forward. Could be her, could be Emily Moulton as they go into the MASCAC semifinals this week.
Right, so the Trailblazers advance into the MASCAC semifinals, and we'll take a look at that bracket now.
Yeah, so heading into Thursday with a rematch with Framingham State, a team that swept the Trailblazers at home. MCLA lost earlier this year by 13, 72-59, and then just about 2 weeks ago, probably the worst performance MCLA had all season. Really just got run out of the building early on down at Framingham. I think it was ultimately like a 99-45 defeat, something along that lines. So it's going to be a really big test, a big challenge for MCLA. But anything can happen in the playoffs, as we witnessed last night. Worcester State, won the 2 regular season meetings only to have MCLA go in and handle business on the road. So it should be a great matchup.
And who are some Framingham State players to look out for in that contest?
This is Framingham State likes to get up and down the floor. They're the 2nd leading team in the conference in terms of scoring points. They're led by a pair of really dynamic players. Reagan Mulheron is one right here. She's a deadly shooter. She really hurt us in the previous matchup down at Framingham. She went 5 for 5 from 3-point land, I believe, in the first quarter alone. So she'll be a matchup handful. Alicia Ratcliffe in the middle, a 6'1" center, perennial all-conference player. She will be a tough matchup as well for MCLA. So, trying to contain those two. I don't know if you're going to completely shut them down, but trying to contain them and slow them down and to not be so explosive will be certainly a key point in that game. And then ultimately, Framingham's got some pretty good depth. Monte Connolly has hurt us in pass. Quinn O'Connell is a very nice player they have. She can shoot the three a little bit. Lauren Donahue is their point guard, can do some damage. So they got a lot of really dangerous parts. They're explosive. But when we played them here in North Adams, it was a pretty good game through 3 quarters, and ultimately Framingham pulled away in the 4th. But MCLA will need that type of performance. One of the key statistics from the other night, last night at Worcester State, MCLA only had 7 turnovers. That was a season low. That will be a critical piece. If we can keep the turnovers in check, to not give away possessions will be a big factor in whether or not we can pull out victory.
Yeah, Framingham, a lot of tough players to guard. Trailblazers really need to watch their turnovers. Anything else the Trailblazers can do in that game?
Well, again, I mean, it's cliche in basketball. We're going to have to shoot the ball pretty well. We did not shoot the ball well our last trip down to Framingham, and ultimately, like I said, we dug ourselves a hole. They're a team that you really don't want to dig too deep of a hole. They like to press a little bit, so it can kind of snowball on you quickly. I would look for us to try to establish hodling again inside, and hopefully McLaughlin can get to the basket. And as I said earlier, some other Trailblazers are going to have to step up. Ashley Clausen, Braylee Hanlon, Emily Moulton, Courtney Pingelski. They're going to have to knock down some shots because I'm sure Framingham's going to try to take away Kayla inside.
Well, we'll look forward to that MASCAC semifinal game. And Trailblazer fans, look forward to when the Trailblazers play the Rams at Framingham State. For myself, Dan Wohler, and Jeff Polari, I'd like to thank you for watching. And remember to follow MCLA Athletics on their Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube page.